Like humans, even animals get into accidents at times. Or sometimes they're just born into dire circumstances. And when that happens, it's up to us to help them out. Whether it's saving a two-legged cow from being put down or giving some lab dogs a whole new life, here are 12 animals who got a second chance. This video is not for the faint-hearted, so keep a tissue or two nearby. Number 12. The ugly duckling or cat. We get that cats are not the friendliest of pets to have around the house, but deciding to put one down? That's one step too far. However, for this one cat, that seemed to be the case. With his cleft lip, crooked jaw, and one eye, the poor fellow was deemed too ugly to stay alive, let alone be loved. But just before his owner could euthanize him, a kind woman decided to take him in. One look at Cricket and she knew she couldn't let him go. And you know what? With all that love and support, especially the extra tuna, Cricket looks like a whole new guy. Number 11. A new addition to the family. Crows are often associated with bad luck or even witches, which is why you won't find a lot of folks willing to let one in their house. But the Renaud family from Ottawa, Canada aren't most folks. When they saw a badly injured baby crow on a bike path one day, they didn't hesitate to take him home and nurse him back to health. You'd think it'd be hard to do with those two cats in the house, but they managed it, and before anyone knew it, the baby crow was back to being 100%. However, Walter didn't return to the skies. Instead, he decided to stay with the family. In fact, he's an honorary family member now who even walks the kids to school. Number 10. Back in the game with 3D printing. Unfortunately, this majestic bird didn't lose half of its beak because of a disease, but rather at the hands of some teenage hooligans. Losing a part of an important organ was obviously a death sentence for the unlucky toucan. Tasks like feeding and preening its feathers became an absolute nightmare, condemning him to an early death. Surprisingly, the little bird's luck had not completely run out. The case quickly came to the attention of an animal rights activist who quickly organized funds for 3D printing a new beak for the toucan. The project got a green signal with $10,000 raised in 2 days. Soon Gracia was showing off a lightweight prosthesis on her upper beak, signifying new beginnings for her. The engineers even made sure that her beak could even be colored, since toucans use the colors of their beak to attract potential mates, and no one wanted Gracia to miss out on the action. Number 9. Back to playing fetch. Everyone wants a puppy, or at least most people do. However, there are a few people who should be banned from ever owning a pet. Last November, rescuers from Heart of Rescue were called to help out a dog in a box. Sadly, being abandoned wasn't the worst thing to happen to Pascal. He was covered in glue, industrial glue so strong that it formed a cement-like layering on him. Heck, the rescuers had a hard time moving the box because of how strong the glue was. Still, they managed to do so somehow, taking Pascal back to the rescue centers. According to the doctors there, the glue had stopped blood flow to several parts of his body. They had to shave him all red and bare to get rid of the glue. The event left him traumatized and uneasy around humans, but with time and consistent love and support from the center staff, Pascal is back to his happy, goofy self. You may just have a hard time recognizing the good boy with the new fur he's rockin'. Number 8. Back to playing in the dirt. Hit by a car, this poor doggo was left paralyzed. When animal rescuers found him, the canine looked disoriented as if asking, "Why me?" He was eventually taken back to the center to be looked at by doctors. Unfortunately, they had no good news to share. Given the trauma to his spinal cord, Georgie had suffered major nerve damage. But the rescue workers didn't let the heartbreaking prognosis break their spirits. They wanted to see Georgie walk again, and so they kept working on him, day in and day out. And guess what? Their consistent efforts paid off, because soon, Georgie was running around in the dirt, not having a care in the world. Let's just hope the driver learned his lesson. Number 7. Baby cow saved from the jaws of death. This baby cow was born different from the rest of her peers. Instead of the usual 4, the baby zebu was born with only 2 legs. Of course, this created trouble for her when it came to walking. Her original owners tried to get a van to help Angel out, but he didn't provide them with a solution. Instead, the doctor suggested that they put down Angel for her own good. The news was devastating, but before they could put Angel on the table, Jared Camp from Iowa Farm Sanctuary jumped in. He just might be little Angel's guardian angel. Jared hooked her up with some sweet new wheels that allow her to conquer every bump in her path. So not only did he save her from the jaws of death, but he gave her a new life. Number 6. Saving a fur ball. If you've ever owned a kitten, you know how these guys can never seem to sit still. However, this little guy might just have wandered off too far for his own good while playing. The poor kitten had fallen down a 43 feet deep well. And that's not the worst part. He was stuck in the pipe for 4 whole days, completely motionless and without food and water. Help arrived on the 5th day. Apparently, a woman had heard the feline's helpless cries and alerted the authorities. When rescuers arrived at the scene, they immediately got to work. Getting the kitten out of the pipe with a 4-inch diameter was a task, but somehow they were able to get the loop of rope around him and pull him out. The moment he was free, relief washed over everyone present. The little guy had a lot of people worrying themselves sick. It's a good thing he's an adorable furball. Number 5. Saving a seal. Thanks to us, the ocean is filled with trash that is practically a death trap for marine life. With that said, the seal had the misfortune of getting tangled up in some rope. In most cases, the tangled rope can lead to strangulation, so when the marine rescuers saw the poor creature, they knew they had to help. But doing that is not a piece of cake. Seals may look all cuddly and friendly, but in reality, they'll have you running. Still, the rescuers braved on, trapped the seal in their net, and cut the rope as fast as they could. When set free, the seal hopped to the beach, celebrating his newfound freedom. Number 4. Out of the dark and into the light. Meet these adorable 3 beagles. Neither of them had ever seen the sun or learned to walk for that matter. These poor pups have spent a good part of their lives as lab animals, constantly being used to test out medicines, cosmetics, and any other chemicals that scientists deem fit. Thankfully, those days are long past them. With the help of these rescue members, it's all about playing catch in the sun now for these adorable doggos. Number 3. Saving a piglet. This little piggy accidentally fell down in a well. Unable to get out, he was constantly swimming because if he didn't, he'd drown for sure. Luckily, 2 men came to his rescue and were able to get him out before it was too late. The poor animal was so tired he didn't even resist the touch of his new saviors, who were kind enough to treat him to a nice meal and a warm bed. Number 2. Kitty gets a bath. Here's another kitty that needed some rescuing. He was stuck in a pool of mud, unable to get out. But turns out luck was on his side because 2 guys managed to spot him on their way to the rice mill. God knows how long the little fellow was stuck there. When out, the kitty's guardian angel treated him to a bath, which we're sure was not a pleasant experience for the feline. The piece of chicken sure did make up for it. Number 1. A family reunited. Next up, we have Bambi, who happened to get stuck in the iron bars of a gate. All the wriggling in the world couldn't get him out, which is why he's lucky that this man walked by when he did. The kind stranger took the time out of his busy day to cut through the iron bars and let him free. He ain't no Superman, but he definitely deserves some appreciation for this act of kindness. Alright, which of these stories touched your heart the most? Did you ever have the chance to save a life? Let us know in the comments. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to TRENDJOINT, and we'll see you in the next one.